For the fans. For the players. For the big plays. Firebirds Weekly. This week's guest is Harold Love.
Welcome to episode 17 of Firebirds Weekly. I'm Adam Samarov with my co-host Chris Sipperly, and we are live from the Clocktower Hotel in Latham, New York. And we are also brought to you by the Evergreen Podcast Network. We have it working with Evergreen now and becoming a part of their arena football coverage. And today we are joined by the big man in the middle, a leader in Coach Cisse's defense, number 99, Harold Love. Harold, how we doing today, my guy?
Oh, man, you know I'm chubby. Wide to the side with a whole bunch of pride. Thanks for having me.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to find out, I love these interviews because we get a chance to find out more about, guys and where they're from and who they are. And, for you, you're a West Coast guy from Oregon. Just tell me about, your life growing up and getting involved in football and what the game, meant to you as a kid.
First and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity and thank y'all for having me. I'm from Oregon. I got 4 older sisters and 1 younger brother, so I was really raised by nothing but women. My mother, my grandma had a big part in my life with growing up, and my auntie as well. As far as football, it's a funny story because I feel like I started late. I probably started around like 7th grade. And respectfully, I didn't have no intentions of playing football.
Okay.
At all. But my coach in middle school, man, when I say this man was so persistent. Oh my God, I'm talking about very persistent. He was just like, son, just give me a minute of your time. And I was just like, no, and I'll walk away. But when I say, man, this man was at me every single day. So finally I was like, look, I'm gonna come out here, I'm gonna show you I don't play football. And he was just like, okay, I'll take it. But when I went out there, man, I fell in love with the game so much. And he pulled me to the side, and I was out there just dominating. I'm talking about going crazy. And he was just like, son, if you play football, I think they'll take care of you and your family for the rest of your life. And that's honestly what kept me going with football.
What you say you started in 7th grade? How big were you in 7th grade?
Oh man, I was a big filler, man. I would put it like this: out of high school, I weighed 397 pounds. I was huge.
Wow.
I was huge. And so out of high school, I made all state at offensive line and defensive line. But as far as grades wise, I ended up having to go to JUCO.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to Butte in 2008. We ended up winning the the championship, the JUCO championship.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up transferring to Feather River. And then from there, I got offers from like Arkansas. I got offers from UCF.
So you after you kind of ran the JUCO route, then you started getting noticed by those D1 schools.
110%. But due to coaching change and whatnot at my school, I ended up having to go to Bethune-Cookman, the HBCU down in Daytona Beach, Florida. Loved it. Culture there, amazing. The school, amazing. Great opportunity there. And 2 years there, I had 100 tackles at nose guard. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do my pro day. The head coach there, oh man, best way I could put it, he ran a tight grip on his program, and in a dictatorship way, until where if you really didn't see it his way, you wasn't gonna have any opportunity of progressing. So that's the best way of putting it, I would say.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
He took something away from me that he didn't have any right to
man.
take away from me, in my opinion.
It broke my heart.
No
Broke
doubt.
my heart, boss man. Just because I was an All-American, man, I had great energy behind me.
What was it like? I don't mean I'm bad at this, but
Oh, you good.
I just I think it's interesting because we see as sports fans, football fans, you hear all about the HBCUs, all Howard is in DC and Grambling and all these places. What was the atmosphere like for you? Going to other schools and then being recruited and going to an HBCU.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm from Oregon, and when I tell you the culture shock that I was a part of going to a HBCU was nothing I will ever forget.
What was the biggest difference in from being from Oregon to that? Like,
honestly, to see the same people as myself bettering their self.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's culture. The culture down there is really elevated, and then just to learn about the school history, like Mary McLeod Bethune, like she started a school in a dump site because that's the only place they will allow her to teach, and to see her growth and success to where it's a university now. It's like I said, it was culture change.
So it definitely sounds like it was a blessing for
Oh
you
man,
in many, many ways.
110%, man, 110%. Like I said, I would never take nothing back. You only live once. Great opportunity. Like I said, more on the football side. I put out such a great highlight tape, even though I didn't do my pro day, that the Seahawks came and picked me up. So like I said, it was great. I never had a red carpet, but like I said, God always makes a way. You get what I mean? So yeah.
So when you say the Seahawks, was that like a camp
Yes,
tryout?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how far along did you get there?
I was there for a couple months, and then they let me go. So it was like I said, I got to put on the helmet. I got to meet Pete Carroll. Got to see what the NFL honestly felt like.
Are we talking about Legion of Boom? Are we that far back? Are we that far back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm
so that must have been.
all them boys.
I mean, that must have been pretty cool. Being a guy who played football, but it was kind of on the fringes of it.
Yes, sir.
Junior college, and then the HBCU, and then here's Cam Chancellor, here's Marshawn Lynch, here's all these guys. Pete Carroll, obviously a great coach. That must have been something even like eye-opening, like crazy.
Man, I'm talking about starstruck. I'm talking about you go in there, and you see, oh my God, but you got to practice. You got to be a professional. Them guys carried themselves in an amazing way. You take everything in, and then you just run with it.
So at that time, how did the communication kind of happen in terms of you having the opportunity for the Seahawks? Did you have an agent at the time?
No, I didn't. So like I said, they got in contact with me. So like I said, my coach, he really didn't like me too much. So I made a first highlight tape, and it went viral. He snatched it off the internet. So due to the fact of him doing that, the lady in productions of our media team, she felt sorry for me, and she made me a highlight on the side. So when my highlight tape went viral, the Seahawks were very much interested because I'm from Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
and it just makes sense.
Guy that's not that far, and it doesn't cost more than a flight, basically.
Right.
Hey, give it a shot, see what happens.
And so, so when they got in contact with me, they flew me out. So I either had a chance. I mean, I had an opportunity, not an opportunity, a decision to make. Either go to the Seahawks rookie minicamp or walk across the stage. And I chose the Seahawks mini rookie camp. I still graduated college, got my degree and everything else, but there's a dream that you chase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, if I was in your position, I probably wouldn't have thought about it as long as you probably did.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
I
So just reach for it. You know what I mean?
So yeah, that was a blessing in itself. Then after that, I went to the Portland Thunder. Played down there. I also got an opportunity with in the IFL with a team called the Tri-City Fevers.
Okay.
Coach Adam Shackelford was the coach at the time. He gave me really my first opportunity in the arena, and I've been in the arena ever since.
How did you kind of go from the outdoor game to the indoor game and go? How much did you know about it beforehand, and then how much did it change your thoughts of like, well, I'm just so used to the outdoor game. How did that kind of go in terms of when you switched and decided to play in the Arena League?
Well, it's opportunity. I just go where the opportunity comes. I ain't really had, like I said, I ain't never had nobody in my corner per se. I always just go off of my talent, and hopefully somebody will reach out to me and give me an opportunity. With the arena situation, so I was with the Portland Thunder, and Damian Lillard's brother, Houston Lillard.
Okay.
He was up there playing quarterback. Man, this man is one of the most. Listen, Damian Lillard's brother, Houston, is such an athlete. He kind of remind me of Sam, but he wasn't as tall, but he was just a magician with the ball. I'm talking about, he's the reason why I went up to Tri-City. He was like, big dog, you coming with me. Anywhere I go, you coming with me. So I goes up there with them, and we make it a run. Then next thing you know, he retired. I start doing my own thing. But man, if it wasn't for Houston Lillard, like I probably wouldn't even be in arena football, just because he really took me under his wing.
Took you under there. And then, over the years, you've been all over the place. You've been West Virginia, Kansas, Washington, Oregon, Florida, San Antonio, Texas. Just talk about, this would be an answer that would take 25 minutes, but uh, tell me a little bit about the journey of just kind of, like you said, and it kind of goes along with opportunity, I'm guessing. Like, hey, I've got an opportunity to go here. Let's see what this is about, right? That kind of thing. Or tell me about that journey.
So with sports, I feel like the crown jewel of it is to travel. You get to meet. I didn't play football where somebody didn't talk the same language, but they knew the understanding of football,
Mm-hmm.
so we could coordinate with each other. You know what I mean? So, traveling has just always been a crown jewel that I felt like any opportunity that I get, just new cities, which also means that somebody else sees my talent and
Now,
giving me opportunities. I feel like in the game, every game is a job opportunity.
has that always been like that for you, or has it been like for me personally? I'm starting to kind of take in the opportunities to travel. Was it always like that since day one? Is that something that you always was part of your decision making right from the beginning, or has that kind of come to you over the last few years?
Always traveling. So
Yeah.
I went from Oregon to California, from California to Florida, which is jumping the other side of the country. From there, went back to Seattle to play football. And then I just been everywhere since. In the arena, as you know, you get 1 year contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, anybody who sees my value or just understands or just want a dog at nose, come holla at me.
Was there ever a team that you signed a 1 year contract and you kind of wish that obviously you're here now, but was there ever one that you wish you were able to hang on a little bit longer?
Unfortunately, a lot of these teams, like the ones that I play for, have folded.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
pretty
what I mean?
common,
So
unfortunately.
a
Yeah.
lot of a couple teams that are stable, like I say, Albany, crown jewel. The Arizona Rattlers, crown jewel. These are professional teams that are established,
Yep.
especially in the arena. Established teams hold a lot more value and weight to their, So a team that has their first year, I really wouldn't advise it. Not trying to
No, 100.
don't
percent
disrespect to
Listen,
nobody in
you
their
have 11
first
years
year.
underneath your
It's
belt,
an
man.
amazing if you got your business going, good job. But it's just tough to keep things progressing. And so any team that shows you success, I will recommend that you go with them.
And then now coming back up to Albany, just talk about the process, of coming back here and becoming a Firebird.
Oh, man, Coach Weir, I love Coach Weir. We won a championship in 22 together, man. And Coach Weir showed me such a fire, man. We had a push-up contest, man. And I'm talking about Coach Weir knocking them out. I'm knocking them out, but that let me know I could fight with this, man.
Is
Like,
there's video on the internet of this? I
no,
hope.
sir, no, sir, no,
Oh
sir.
no.
It was in a
Oh.
team meeting, as a whole we talking and everything else. Coach was like, "I'm with anything." I'm like, "What's up, Coach?" And so, man, like I said, man, he's a fighter. He's a magician. He honestly is a real life professor of this game, and so it was a no brainer. He called my phone, was like, "Look, man, I always have a great offense, but now I'm focused more on my defense." And when he told me that, and the fact that he thought of me, that was just nothing but respect on that end. And I told him he got me. I seen that they lost in the championship game, which what Albany is surprising. Albany has great culture, and when they make it, they usually pull it out. But this year, I think it lit a fire under the Firebirds. You get what I mean? Which is
Hmm.
the most dangerous thing you could ever do. But yeah, after he hit me up and said, I just need a solid foundation on my line, Coach. I'll run through a wall for you. So let's do it, baby.
So I mean, everybody we talk to, talks about Coach Cisse. What is it like to have a guy like that leading your defense? A guy that's been there, done that. Everything.
So first and foremost, I done played against Cisse, with Cisse, and for Coach Cisse.
Three
Um,
for three.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when I say I respect this man, his coaching philosophy, his aggression, his determination, his coaching to detail, I love everything about this man. Like I say, he's another individual that make me run through a wall for him. And this is his first year being a defensive coordinator. I have to make sure it's a great first year. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
So if they had bestowed that on me, I promised them. I promised them that they wouldn't regret it.
How was it going from playing against him to then playing for him, and playing like
So
with him
let's
on the same team? Like that must be, it's a different thing every time,
So
obviously.
in 2021, we met in the championship. I was with the Columbus Lions, and he was with Albany. Man, when I say this game was such a shootout, man, I'm
Yeah, it
talking
was.
about.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was really legendary. We had Mason Noza and then they had Espinoza, and then they had Grady. And when I say these was one of the two great quarterback battles you will ever see, but they end up winning. The next year, Albany comes and gets me. So I played against them in the championship. They end up signing with them and winning the championship.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Hey, like I say, every game is an opportunity. I feel like every game can be a job interview. So if you go out there and perform, somebody will see it.
And the same thing. I mean, anybody that's listening isn't in the professional ranks. Practice is also an opportunity.
110%.
There's not a quicker way to get off a team than to have poor practice habits.
But what I say too, though, it's a sign of respect as well.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, for another example on our team, Isaiah Scott. He played an amazing game against them, and next thing you know what? He's a Firebird. So, like, it's called respect too. If a coach sees, like, man, I think this fella could help us get to the next step. Well, come on, coach, let's take this next step together, baby. You get what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the first game here. 78-20 win. Obviously, you on defense, a couple of pass breakups, a couple of sacks. Really helping to get a big win opening week. What was it like being back at MVP Arena? After having to wait kind of longer than anybody else, just based on the way that kind of things have worked out.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my secondary. I love my DBs. These boys come to work every day with their hard hats. They are determined. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to my line. These guys did an amazing job recruiting this offseason. I told them they did it too good of a job. You get what I mean? Because during camp, we had a camp for about a month, and in that month, we done played 3 to 4 games in that month just in practice. It's so intense. The fellas every day just want to be better. The younger guys are so hungry for knowledge. They just did a great job of mixing attitude with composure, with experience. And then I think you've seen that with the 78-20 win. Hats off to Southwest Kansas. They're a great team. But like I say, the focus that we have on this side is something special. And then you bring back Sam. Sam been my quarterback for the last 3-4 years.
Yep.
Right.
And I promise you, like, that man never surprised me. He'll make us better every single time we step out on the field. I know the O-line take it personal to block for him. Our receiving core,
Chef's kiss.
Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? I think I could go out there and run routes the way they do it. You know what I mean? So I think we're very talented. Our O-line is nasty. Man, I just love my team, honestly, first and foremost.
Well, one thing that I noticed almost right out of the gate, the communication that was displayed in the back end on Saturday night, it's like those guys that played together for multiple seasons.
Like I said, Coach Hobbs. Coach Hobbs been doing an amazing. Like I said, this is his first year too coaching, and I feel like his attention to detail has been phenomenal. Coach Cisse, I don't think y'all understand. As a football team, you take the attitude of the person who's leading you. And if you ever met Coach Cisse, oh my God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And he's fierce, you know what I'm saying? Undeniable. And I feel like we're going to be undeniable. Like, you can't deny us.
I tell you, it's funny because I was watching like the intros, on Friday night, and I see him come out, and he's just like, kind of doing this,
Man.
Yeah,
he's ready to go.
He could play. He could play right now because put the uniform back on him. He's good to go.
Man, like I said, it was a no-brainer. Coach Cisse had arguably the best nose to have played this game. Like, seriously. And that's the position I play. And so if you want somebody to push you during the position that you play as well, you will want something like that, you know? So me, it was a match made in heaven with Coach. His knowledge, his understanding, like I said, and his philosophy, it all makes sense. So like I said, I think that's what you're seeing on the field. Everybody buying in, and that's the toughest thing you could ever do with a team is get somebody all man to buy into what you're thinking about. But I think he done a great job pushing the message.
Absolutely, 100%. And I'll tell you, to kind of segue that a little bit of that, we talk about how great you guys did on the field, but I think the thing that showed me, as someone who's kind of, halfway in, halfway out, about the person you are, is I don't know, a first or second quarter kid for Southwest Kansas gets injured, and you literally picked him up and put him back on the bench over there to get checked out. Tell me what happened? What was going through your mind? What happened in that? And then, your decision to basically help them out, help the kid out to get back over to the bench to get looked at.
So understand that we all have the same goal, just different jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And of course.
To be out there giving your all, running routes, them little guys be running routes. The motion and everything else. It's tough.
They're running miles.
Yeah, yes, sir. And the craziest thing ever to see is somebody hurt themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy was out there really crying on the and at that moment you forget that y'all opponents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, man, what can I do to help my man? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't know. I'll just pick them up. It was just reaction, honestly. Like I said, we all trying to chase the same goal. We all just want to be appreciated. And so the best thing I could just do is just help my mans to the bench. And I'm just glad that a positive energy was received on that end,
Definitely. Yeah. Like I saw that and I was like, not only is he, doing it on the field, but he's also helping guys out. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it's interesting to look at, obviously again, any kind of thing like that. Like, hey, we might be opponents. I might have a different jersey than you, but hey, we're all doing the same thing. We love football. We love this game. We're all trying to get to the same point.
It's a blessing just to play football. It's a blessing for people to come cheer you on. It's a blessing to travel somewhere. They just came from Kansas up to New York.
Yeah, it's not an easy trip.
Yeah. So, the least we can do while we're hosting another team is making sure that they're comfortable, and that's all we want to do.
Be respectful.
100%, 110%.
Respect for the guys that's doing the same thing you're trying to do.
The biggest thing Coach Ware harps on is a man of personality and a man of character.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? And so when I'm on the field, I'm also representing him.
Right.
You get what I mean? So it was a no-brainer, man. Let me help this man to the bench, bro. We're gonna make a prayer for you. But then after we put him on the bench, we back to handling business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, we did our 1/8 to help the team, but like I say, man, we got a great group.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit also. They Henry kicks the deuce, the first points as well.
Henry.
And then Jalen Morton comes and scores, gives them a 7-2 lead, and then they didn't see the end zone again until you guys were up 50-7. What kind of adjustments did you make as a defense to be like, we need to slow this guy down and keep him out?
It wasn't everybody gets one, but the adjustment wasn't that. It was to take a deep breath and calm down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was our first series.
Yep.
All of us are excited. I mean, just
with the read option stuff. Yeah, that's what that was.
Well, we had a month of hitting each other. We finally got to hit somebody else. You know what I mean? So after that first series, I really feel like we looked at each other. No more.
You
get what I mean? And even my DBs, like, that's what I love about us. We something happens, we talk about it, then we lock in. So I think that was just great execution on our part, understanding that, we can't let that to happen. We send a message. This is our first game, so let's go.
I wanted to you said Henry, and I love the way he talked about that. How nice is it to have a guy who can score you points? So, again, even in that case, you're already up 2-0 before you go out there.
Oh man, I for somebody like me, I have learned to appreciate a good kicker. In 2021, when we played Albany, our kicker went 2 for 11.
Oh,
we ended up losing that game by 6 points. So if you do the math, if he just make his kicks, we win.
Right.
You get what I mean? And so then we had a kicker in 22, Marco. Oh my God, Marco foot was special.
Yeah.
He won us a Jacksonville game that sent us to the championship.
Roscoe,
then
right?
Then we end up beating Carolina. It was 47-7 going into the fourth. You know what I mean? So having a kicker is just added value. And then Henry coming in with that foot, boom. Honestly, it just started off perfect, gave us great energy. We fed off of that, and that's the most dangerous thing you can do.
Looking forward, obviously, I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, not in the room, but I'm guessing that Coach Ware was like, celebrate tonight. We're on to Nashville, the Belichick thing.
Oh, yeah, Coach. I love Coach message be direct. You know what I'm saying? Good job, fellas. But this wasn't nothing. What we're chasing is way bigger than just one win. You get what I mean? we're constantly chasing the championship. So it's not to make the playoffs. It's not, like I said, man. This man, his determination to be he was just talking about the peak of the mountain, and he was like, "We're for sure going to be on that peak." You know what I mean? And there's too many people at the bottom of the mountain, and we're not trying to be. We like our space. You know what I mean? So, I love his message. I think he's keeping our team hungry and humble at the same time, and that's tough to do. And we all for it.
I want to make sure I don't forget to mention the flock support. They got us about 3,000. I think there was about 3,000 fans, maybe 2,950, something of that nature. Definitely one of the better totals so far for the AF1 season. Just talk about playing with a big crowd and how loud they. I mean, it was extremely loud in that building. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, first of all, energy is a two-way street. You know, the crowd feeding into us and we feeding into the crowd. It's a dangerous combination. As soon as my boy hit the deuce, the crowd went crazy. You get what I mean? It just started off, okay, we got to do something to just keep it going. The fans, the kids cheering over the wall, number 99. I love it, man. It's motivation. It's just beautiful. People come, they work hard just to come see us play. They also take care of us too. They give us bags, making sure that we're taken care of. Any type of thing that you need from as far as bathroom materials, Gatorades, snacks. We love our snacks. So we're very blessed. Like I said, the fan, the culture, just the region is just amazing, honestly.
I just saw a comment that says Terrell Harold, Coach Johnson said, "Great work."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nice comments.
100%. Yes.
Okay, yeah, keep them coming, baby.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. Talk to me nice.
Yeah, we like positivity.
People have no idea how dominant this gentleman is in the trenches. Couldn't be more proud of our recruitment process.
Oh,
Coach Johnson.
Yeah, come on. Like I said, just another thing about Coach Johnson, man. In 2019, I was playing for the West Virginia Rough Riders. He was with the Cape Fear Heroes. I have never played for Coach Johnson before, and I played against him. And then after he seen me play, when I say this man humbly, like, just made sure I was okay. Like, hey, if you ever need me for anything, you hit me up because I want to make sure you get to where you need to go. And so, like, he just always been like in my corner. You know what I mean? So, that year I had 20 sacks in West Virginia. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
You're on pace for that right now.
Huh?
Said you're on pace for it right now.
Yeah, man. First of all, like I said, my boy Zeke, I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pleasure to play with you, man. Like, my DNs, oh man, DJ, my boy Mac, oh man, we are blessed. And single, man, listen, Drew, watch out for him, okay?
Yeah.
These, like I said, my coaches did a great job recruiting, and it's just a blessing for me to be the guy in the middle to just keep us together.
I'm impressed how well some of these rookies have played.
Listen,
I mean,
that could be tough week
Drew,
one, new
oh,
thing.
My goodness. I mean, like I even a few weeks ago we were talking about previewing the game. He's like, listen, I don't know if Trey's going to play or not, but he's a heck of a player. And
man,
boy,
Trey,
he
Mike Lee.
instantly.
Oh man, listen, like I said, I love my guy.
I was telling Mike because he's on like the far end for the special teams, and so he's right next to the wall, and we're right next to the wall, and I'm like, it was like 62-14 or whatever the score was, and I'm like, 76 isn't that far away. You got to, and of course you guys got 70. He's like, hey man, we're just getting to it.
Honestly, we were disappointed, man. First and foremost, yeah, it was a great win, but we were so frustrated. I know everybody else see the linemen and the lights and everything, but as a team, we were mad about the 20. You get what I mean? As a team, Coach Weir wanted to really touch so much numbers. We wanted 80. We wanted 85 plus 90. You get what I mean? So trust me, that was a great win, but we're not satisfied. I'm talking about we are not satisfied. That 20 is, oh my goodness, that 23 rushing touchdown. First and foremost, my DBs didn't give up a passing touchdown in the passing league. That deserves to be mentioned.
Absolutely.
I don't think
100%.
nobody is not talking about that enough, where you have wide receivers running full speed at you and they didn't get in that end zone.
Right. No, absolutely.
And for us to give up 3 rushing touchdowns, we take that personal at defense. As a D-line, oh my goodness, listen. This is what we're up here. We all leave our families. We take it serious.
Yeah.
So we're going to improve.
Well, I was going to say that. I see on your arm you have the words "family first" tattooed on your arm.
Yes, sir.
And obviously your family and the support you have from your regular family.
Yes, sir.
But a lot of the stuff that Coach Ware and a lot of these guys have talked about is the family that this team is, and how you guys are that. Talk about that a little bit and how you guys are working together when you're here. You're together. For practice, you're together for meals. You're together, your whole. You see these guys more than anybody.
So listen, I feel like everybody throw that family a word around because it's easy to glue together. But when I say, man, we in here laughing together, don't get it. We even fight.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
no fight has never lingered to where it's an issue in our locker room. If they fight, hey man, okay, this was the issue. We shake on it, and I'm telling you, it's over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of family is, hey, we left our family to become a family. We got glued in as a family, and now let's win as a family.
Mhm.
So I think like I said, it's all about buying in. It's all about being receptacle, like receiving energy and putting it back out in a good way. And I'm telling you, I think we did a great job with that.
So looking forward to this week against Nashville.
Yes, sir.
What are you up against?
Like I said, they got a nice old line. They got a couple veterans. I think they made a QB change.
Oh,
But
really? I missed
honestly,
that. Okay.
it's nothing that to worry about, man. We so focused on us. We don't care what they go do. You know what I mean? So we prepare for any type of thing. They got a new offensive coordinator, man. We're preparing ourselves. We're watching any type of film. That's one thing we do. We're preparing, man. We got classrooms where we get quizzed every day. We got, like I said, there's a process that these guys are creating. And like I said, you see it on the field, man. We trying to run plays before the offense even know what play they run in. And we trying to make sure we're in the right. I just love what we're doing up here, man. The philosophies make sense.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate your time, Harold, and we look forward to seeing how it goes against Nashville and the rest of the week. And well, thank you to the live stream because I know that'll be a very well watched. And we just want to say again that we're part of the Evergreen Now podcast network, so you'll be able to check that out on that. Get the app, and you'll be able to check that out. And this is also on Apple TV, Roku, and a bunch of other places. And we're here live at the Clocktower in Latham, the Clocktower, the official home of the Albany Firebirds. And we'll wish you a good Monday night, and we'll talk more on Friday after the Nashville game.
I will see you next Monday.